Hey everyone, so I wanted to make another video about food. This one I wanted to focus a bit more on my diet immediately following the surgeries. And I believe my diet routine while in the hospital was pretty similar for both surgeries. Both started out with 2 days or so of no food or liquids, so the only thing I could put in my mouth was just a little cotton swab of water just to prevent my mouth from getting dry. And then I moved on to clear liquids, so water and chicken and beef broth. And I believe for both surgeries, I needed to pass gas and excrete feces before I could move past that clear liquid phase, just to make sure that my intestine was waking up and working. And that usually lasted for about 2 days or so, and then I moved on to solid foods. And the only difference between the two surgeries was just after the first surgery, I was put on a low residue diet, so no seeds or nuts or fruits or vegetables. I ate a lot of turkey sandwiches and skinless chicken and mashed potatoes. But after the second surgery, I don't think I had any major food restrictions on my solid food diet. I remember eating grilled cheese and pizza and other things that you wouldn't think you'd be having right after that kind of surgery. And as far as my appetite in the hospital, after the first surgery, I didn't really have much of an appetite. I really was more just picking at my food, but I can attest to the fact that after my second surgery, I did have an appetite. I remember seeing the food commercials and begging my doctors to put me on a solid diet. And as far as when I got home from the hospital, after the first surgery, my first day home was pretty rough in terms of food. I wasn't really hungry, so I didn't eat anything. And I remember that night my mom tried to force feed me a spoonful of just plain white rice, and I just didn't want any of it. And when I finally took what seemed like the biggest bite, which in reality was just like the tip of the spoon, it caused me a lot of pain, and that was it. I was done with that. But things definitely got better as time progressed. I think even the second day I was home, I started craving noodles and cream of chicken and cheese sauce, which my mom reluctantly made me a watered down version. And I'm just going to let you know that's probably not the best thing to eat right after you have your colon removed, which I realized about 2 bites in. And the only other thing I really regret having right after my surgery was a piece of chocolate, which also didn't go down too well. But as far as things that I could tolerate and that my early post-surgery diet consisted of would be chicken soup and baked potatoes with a little bit of salt and butter. And for a solid week, I probably had a baked potato for breakfast and dinner. And then hard-boiled eggs, and eventually deviled eggs, and strangely enough, Cheez-Its. I never really liked Cheez-Its beforehand, but for whatever reason, these two surgeries really made me start craving Cheez-Its, and now I always keep a box of Cheez-Its in the house, so who knows? And then as far as my first substantial meal, not just like a single item, but like a plate of different food items where I sat down at the table and ate with my family. I had salmon and mashed potatoes, which I think is really a good transition food into bigger and potentially better things, just because, it went down pretty easily. I mean, I didn't eat that much, but, I could really tolerate it, it seemed. So I definitely recommend checking out all of those food items when you're early on in recovery. And also, if you have a sweet tooth and you always tend to crave ice cream like I do, I would definitely recommend looking into gelato, which I'm not going to say went down easy, but it definitely went down easier than regular ice cream because it doesn't have that same dairy content as regular ice cream, so it doesn't irritate our GI tract as much. So it's definitely a good way for me to help satisfy my sweet tooth a bit. And I think you can get it at Whole Foods or potentially Trader Joe's. So that's definitely something worth checking out. And yeah, that was my diet post-surgeries, and I hope you found it helpful, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!